Hi, I'm Greta Oliver. Welcome to the EducateU podcast, your roadmap to learning tips, techniques, and strategies to enable your student to successfully navigate the road to and through higher education. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Oliver with our EducateU podcast, where I get to talk to some phenomenal students from Ohio University. A little bit later, I'll have them tell who they are and their major and what supports they needed in college. But right now, I just want to tell you how I met them. I was down at Ohio University a couple weeks ago, and I did 2 professional development sessions on how to support first-generation college students and also how to support underrepresented students. And so that was all well. We had a great time, but the best thing was me being able to meet some students and have lunch with them. And 3 of them are here today to continue our conversation. And so because I care about all students and these specifically, I didn't want it to be the last time I ever met them when I was at OU. So we're all here today so that you, our viewers, can hear what students need, what supports they need from them, and not necessarily from me talking on their behalf. So welcome, welcome, welcome to EducateU. So let's just start. Let's start with Bree. I was just reading names, but I do know who you are. And if you could tell who you are, where you're from, your major, and let's just stop with that. And then we'll just go around and then we'll continue with the rest of the conversation, okay?
Cool.
All right.
My name is Bree. I am a communication studies and media arts production major from Ohio University. I'm originally from Canton, Ohio. And is there one thing that I'm missing?
No, I don't think so. I'll ask you later. I'll just jump in and ask you later if that's the case. Okay, let's stop. Next, continue with Eleni.
Hi, I'm Eleni Wyrick. I'm a sophomore here at OU. I major in communication studies. I also have a minor in sociology, and I'm getting a certificate in law, justice, and culture. And I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Okay, out of state students. So that should be an interesting conversation as well. Okay, Jalen, you're up.
And I guess that leaves me. I'm Jalen Tolbert, originally from Dayton, Ohio. My major is communication studies with minors in political science and African American studies.
Okay, that all sounds so great. And it also sounds like you are all so busy. I mean, you are doing a lot. A lot of times students will come and they have one major and that's it. And that's also hard. But when you have minors and certificates and all that stuff that some of you have, woo, it's a lot. And it takes a lot of organization to be able to pull that off successfully. So my hat's off to all of you. Okay. And I also know that you're in a lot of different groups and you do a lot of different things on campus, supporting other students. So I know that you're busy, and I'm so thankful that you all would come today and talk to me and our viewers on EducateU. Thank you so much. So the next thing that we want to talk about, because we want to be able to allow the viewers to hear from you, we want to talk about the supports that you each felt you needed or still continue to need, because yeah, we're all college students and we need support. And I just want to allow you the time to do that. And I also want to say that I've been talking about how people need one another a lot on EducateU, because even, at my age, no, I'm not a college student, but at my age, I need help from time to time with different things. Everybody needs help. It's nothing wrong with needing help, but you have to have, what it takes to actually ask for help, identify that you do need help, and then find that help. And so with that being said, let's just kind of mix it up, and we'll start with Eleni this time, and you can tell what supports you felt like you needed when you're on campus.
Okay, so I would say, remember, I'm a sophomore, so this is my second year on campus. And I would say when I first got here, the biggest thing for me that I felt like I needed support-wise was more of like relationships, whether that was like, because you get here, you come to this new place, I'm from out of state, everyone else here kind of knew someone from their high school or knew somebody that also lived in their neighborhood or something like that, all coming from Ohio. So I think just even if it's your parents calling you or just like joining a random club and making some friend that you have a conversation with for 30 seconds, like just make the relationships and like let the other people be there for you. Cause I think trying to come to a new place and just like doing it on your own and thinking, oh, I just graduated high school, like I can do anything. Like you need to come to the new place looking for like, I want to meet this new friend, or I want to let my mom teach me this. Like let people share with you what they know. So I think just meeting people and having people there to support in any way is really important.
Right, right. That's so true, especially with you coming from out of state. You have a different vantage point than students who are coming from in-state. Like you said, you may be you may not see anybody from where you were from or from your high school or anything. So you got to make your new friends and forge those new relationships. Okay, so let's move to Jalen.
Wow, so I think Eleni really killed it just now, how she said, you have to make sure that you're asking people what they know and being receptive of that. I would say the way that I could most value and have most valued connections at this point is being connected to resources, being supported through that way, through the help of my advisor or my professors, going to office hours and having like more in-depth conversations about the things that we're learning. I feel like it's definitely helped me a lot. So I think that being able to forge those new relationships in the world of academia in a way that you never really have before has been very helpful for me.
Okay, I love that answer because I think you've been reading my book for sure. Okay, and we're talking about all the time finding advocates on campus, and that would be your professors or your advisors or people that can help you. And I guess that was what I really didn't do well. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because I didn't want people to be falling into the same kind of categories and making some of the same mistakes that I did. And so it's very, very important to find your advocates because they're people that are on campus. They're actually hired and they work there. And that's their job that they're supposed to be doing. And so they're waiting for people to come. Professors are waiting, and not having many students in their office hours. Some professors don't even really think about, having legitimate office hours because nobody comes. And so that is such a good tip to find your advocates when you get on campus, because that's how you make it. You find out, how to navigate everything. You find out who can be useful and who can help you. And that is the best news that you found that early. I really am so excited about that answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you need to do that. It's so important. Okay, so Bree, you're up.
Yeah. Both Eleni and Jalen said a lot of great things. It really resonated. Office hours is really important. Relying on your people, awesome. I think to go in a different direction, and something that has really helped me in terms of mental health is relying on kind of psychological services. I think most campuses do have like free services that are offered that you can take advantage of. And I have used those services and resources here, and it's really helpful to kind of take yourself out of academia sometimes and kind of focus on yourself, because I think that's also what college is about. Not only advancing like your intellectual field of interest, but also who are you? Like, who are you going to be? And I think understanding that is really important. So that is a support system that is understated, I think.
Yes. And you know what? I think you've been listening to my podcast. I have not been paying these students, guys, to say these things, but I had a podcast, like the last couple of podcasts that I had, which were in the last 3 weeks. One was self-care, one was mental health awareness. And so this is so important because as I've said on other episodes, mental health takes a toll on college students. And it seems to be really, really at a all-time high right now, especially, close to home at North Carolina State. At UNC, there have been any number of suicides and all kinds of things, and we definitely don't want that. And so being able to be or take advantage of mental health services, psychological services is so important. You never should be to the point where you're so overwhelmed that you can't go get help, and, it's so stressful. And what I found in my research is that a lot of times it's as a result of maybe the pandemic, people not really being able to communicate with one another, a lot of comparison among people with social media, and then just even the overall stress of just being a college student. All of that stuff in conjunction can be pretty overwhelming, and that leads to depression, which can lead to other things. And so one of the things that I want to have as a takeaway from this segment for sure is to utilize mental health and psychological services. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in that. There's no stigma in that. If you need to talk to somebody, I'm sure everybody would be, happy if you did talk to someone rather than do something that, would be devastating or end your life, or, leave people behind grieving because you didn't feel like you had anybody you could reach out to. That's really heartbreaking. And I hate to even hear about that kind of stuff, but I do know that students are under a lot of pressure, and some of it is things that, they never were faced with before. We never faced a pandemic. I haven't faced a pandemic until we were in it, and you guys the same way. And so all of the, negativity that went along with that, it can really, really take a toll. And so all of those things together can have someone really in need of help. And if you don't know where your advocates are, you don't go get the help, then you're going to be in need of help, continue to be in need of help. And that's not where we want you to be. So thank you so much for bringing that up. That was so valuable. So everything that you guys have said, are all true and legitimate supports that students need. And so let's recap. We talked about building relationships. We talked about finding your resources. We talked about taking advantage of your advocates, and specifically taking advantage of like your mental health or psychological health services. All of those are so important. And so as we conclude, let's just go and give some tips to some students that may be coming behind you, because I know a lot of people, when I do EducateU, I talk a lot on behalf of students, but I have 3 students right here, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. What tips can you guys provide for people who are coming, students that are coming to college for the first time? So let me see. I think I want to go with Eleni first.
Excuse me. I have a couple that I think are really important. The first thing I would say I've realized, this is my second semester, my second year, and I've kind of just now started to put it together. And I wish I had heard it when I was coming into school. But this goes across the board for everything that you're going to participate in here. What you put in really is what you're going to get out of it. That goes for academics, that goes for student orgs, that goes for friendships, any of that. If you sign up for it, but you don't actually go, you're not actually going to get anything out of it. But it's the same for friendships. You meet someone, but if you want that relationship to last, like, you have to keep putting in. And I just think everything here, like, you have to just give it your all, because that's how you're going to get the fullest experience at college. Anywhere you go is just give it your all and run with it.
That's wonderful advice.
Thanks.
Anything else? I know you said you had a couple.
Yeah, another one that goes with that is just step out of your comfort zone. Like, if you're joining something, you don't have to know what it is. Like, they're going to welcome you. They want you to join their club. Like, do things that you don't know you're going to like. Just try it. And then lastly, this is really small, but use a planner or use a calendar.
Oh, yes.
I never did in high school. It was high school, it just, you do it. Yeah. But then you get here, and at OU, they have this thing called a learning community where, like, they make freshmen it's kind of like a little, like, let us teach you how to do college kind of thing. And the first thing they told me it was an assignment. They made us do it. They said, get a calendar, write every exam you have for the entire semester right now. So I have a calendar that's every month, and I have social events. I have everything I do on that calendar. And then I also have a planner just for my academic work. And I think that's the easiest thing you can do to keep from getting overwhelmed and to stay organized.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love every one of those supports that are all important. And every single one of them is in my book. Okay. Didn't pay you. Okay. All right. Now let's go with Bree.
Yeah, Eleni, I have 3 planners. So, like,
Okay.
planner is it's so important. It's so important. But I would say, first and foremost, you kind of need to make connections in college. It's really important. Like, we talked about support systems, and I think the biggest thing that has helped me in college is having a support system with my advisor, with my speech coach, who has helped me with a lot of different things. She helped me make a resume. Like, you can make connections with people and find that unexpected things will happen. Like, my speech coach doesn't have to make a resume or even teach me how to do that, but she did. And that was something that really pushed me forward, I think, in my career, and both academically and professionally. And also, like, your friends, making connections with your friends. I've learned so much about myself through my friends. So I think making connections is huge for both your personal development and academic development, everything. So that's the one thing I would say. Also, check your email.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's so important. It's so important.
Yes, it
Like,
is.
I think it's probably, if I didn't check my email, I'd be lost, or I wouldn't
Mhm,
have
mhm.
taken advantage of a lot of opportunities, or even known about programs, scholarships offered through
Yes.
the university. So
Mhm,
checking your email is so important. That's kind of a tangible thing that I would like hold on to.
mhm,
And the last thing that I would say, which I think is the most important, is that you need to care about what you're doing. Um, I came into college with a comms degree and I wasn't really attached to it.
mhm,
And it made me not want to go to class. It made me not really want to try very hard and not find the motivation to try. And
mhm.
so then I kind of explored other interests. I got involved with student orgs, and I found something that I really cared about. And so then I tacked on a double major, which now my comms degree kind of goes hand in hand with my media degree. So, or major. So,
Mhm,
and now I'm actually motivated to do my work and go to class. And I want to talk to my professors and go to the office hours. And I want to take advantage of the resources at school. And now I'm looking for job opportunities. And
right.
so it's really hard to find something to care about, especially when you come into college not knowing what you want to do, not knowing what degree you want or where your life path is going. But
Mhm,
if you take the time to explore it, you're in the right direction. And if you find what you care about, then you're doing the right thing. You're doing college right, I
mhm,
think.
mhm. I love it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. That checking the email thing, that goes across the board for every single year of your life. As long as we have emails, please, please, please check your emails. You can miss out on so many good things. And, scholarship opportunities, internship opportunities, maybe programs that are being put on. And I think that problem is everywhere, from Ohio to UNC to Wake Tech, all of the different places that I ever taught. It's something about that email. I don't get it, that students just they don't want to check the emails. And that is so crazy. And then I love the being invested in what you're doing, finding your passion actually on campus. And so I know a lot of students may come in and they may end up changing their major or doing something different, but the important thing is to do something that you have a passion for, because it makes it so much easier to do anything if you at least care about it. And so that's wonderful, 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 wonderful. Can't say it enough. Information. Okay, what's happening here. Let's go.
Wow, I kind of hate that I have to follow that up.
I
That's really
think
good
you are
stuff.
on mute. Are you on mute?
Can you hear me?
Okay,
Okay.
go
I
ahead.
can hear you.
But yeah,
Sorry.
like I said that's going to be tough to follow up, but I really just have one piece of advice. It's a little bit abstract, but I feel like asking as many questions as humanly possible. If you ever have anything that you have some sort of doubt about, if you ever have something that you want to learn more about, you shouldn't ever feel ashamed or worried about asking for help or asking anyone if they know if they can help
Mhm,
you.
mhm,
Some people will have better advice than others, and some people might not even help you. But getting into the practice of asking questions when you know that you need the help and you want to learn more is going to be a skill that takes you like really far in life, not just in college. So that's
mhm.
something that I feel like has been very big for me.
Absolutely. I love it. Ask for help, ask questions. A lot of people say there's no such thing as a dumb question. It really isn't. If somebody thinks that a question that you're asking is dumb, that's on them. If you really want to know the information, you need to ask, and try to get all the answers you can. So don't just ask one person, ask many people, and then you'll be able to make a, kind of well-rounded decision based on what you've heard, something that you can live with, and if it's not what you want to hear, maybe you need to go in another direction, so you can really find out what you're doing and be happy about it, and just feel good about your choices. Sometimes you might ask something and they tell you something that sounds like it's just something you can't live with, or no, maybe I don't want to do that. Go with your intuition and go with your gut about, right and wrong decisions and things like that. But always do your homework to find out, by asking for help and asking questions when you don't know. Another thing is when you're in class and sometimes the material might be being explained and you don't really understand it. You don't have to ask in class necessarily, but you need to get to those office hours so you can get something broken down, or you need to go to some kind of tutoring or, the academic, what is it called? The Academic Achievement Center. Did I get that name right this time? Because I know
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
On me all the time. They changed it so that my presentation would not be right. But so the Academic Achievement Center, or wherever you need to go. I know when I was working on my PhD, and I was like always a non-traditional student except for undergrad, but I was working on my PhD and I was in statistics. Lord have mercy is all I can say. I was so, I was having such a hard time with statistics, and I actually ended up doing a quantifiable dissertation, which means dealing with numbers. Yeah, I don't know why I did that, but anyway, but I needed help with that statistics. And I mean, I canvassed the university until I found somebody that could help and explain that to me, because no matter how much reading I did or whatever I tried to figure out, I was just like, I don't know what they want. So I found a tutor. And I mean, because of this person that I worked with, I attribute a lot of, my success to. The fact that I asked for the help was important, but the fact that I could actually understand what I was doing, especially when I was defending my dissertation, was gold, man. It was 100% wonderful and worth it to ask for the help that I needed. And, no matter what your age is, as I said before, you always need help. It's something that somebody else has already done. It's some knowledge that they've already figured out that you don't know. And so that's so important as you go forward, just to know when to ask for help and to continue to ask until you get the answers that you need. All right, you guys have been so wonderful. You always are. I am so glad to see you all again, and I'm wishing you the best on your spring break, having fun at your competitions, your speech debates, and having fun on your spring break trips, and doing everything to come back safely to Ohio University in your right mind. Okay, so make sure you all take advantage of whatever is going on and have the best time, but make sure you're safe. And so I'm so glad you all came and talked to us. One of the high points of me coming to Ohio University was me meeting and getting a chance to talk to you, as well as the other students that were not able to join us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys later on. You never know when I'm going to call on you for our podcast. All right.
We're looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good
Thank you for joining us today on EducateU. If you wish, you can send me your questions or comments about the college going process or the podcast contents by sending an email to Dr. Greta at gretaoliverconsulting.com. Also, beginning each week after the podcast airs, check for a companion blog on my website's blog page at gretaoliverconsulting.com. My book, College Roadmap, Essential Tips for First-Time College Students and Their Families, is available for sale on Amazon.com. Join us next week for another tip or strategy to make the road to higher education easier for your student.